Hey there, I am back, and this video is going to show you another way to use tarot cards. So, I am all about creating my future, not just trying to predict a future. And so, what I like to do is sometimes I'll ask an oracle deck or a tarot deck, and I'll use a couple of different decks so you can see. Hey, how can I get what I want? So for example, I say, hey, how can I reach a bigger audience with my tarot course? Shuffling, shuffling, shuffling. And here we go. We have the Eight of Wands from the Effortless Tarot deck. So with the Effortless Tarot deck, I include a definition. I include who it could be as a person, a yes or no answer, and a time frame. So with this, I would say, okay, an airplane, maybe I have to travel outside of who I usually see and do things different that I normally do. That's just coming to me off the cuff. Now this says movement, air travel, immediate action, fast-paced change. So in order for me to reach a bigger audience, I can't hem and haw about it. I have to act now. So things that come to me about that is maybe I'll send an email newsletter with that mediumship tarot reading that I did and give everybody a taster. Now, who this card is as a person is a goal-oriented person, a Sagittarius, that's their sun sign. Who do I know that's a Sagittarius? Well, my nephew, who I'm going to see next week, my father-in-law, who I'm going to see next week. Maybe I could tell them about my course and see what they say, because they, even though they're not marketing experts, they might have a juicy tidbit to share with me that I hadn't thought of yet. And then for the yes or no, this is a yes answer. And then it says a timeline, November 23rd through December 2nd. Well, guess what? We're in February. I'm going to do it now. So, yes, how can I reach a wider audience with my course? I've also pulled, this is one of my favorite cards from the Rider-Waite Tarot deck. This is the Empress. So, look at her. She's got a crown of stars on. She is reclining in nature. She's got a planchette, which is that thing that moves the Ouija board. Oh, I love that I just did a mediumship tarot spread. I don't mess with a Ouija board. But, yeah, she's surrounded by wheat. She is abundant. This is feminine energy. And in the very beginning video, I talked about that. Now, whether you are a man or a woman, we all have a mix of both. Now, in our Western society, hustle and working yourself to death is seen as valuable and encouraged. I don't do that anymore because, like I said, I let it ruin my first business, and I just wanted nothing to do with hula hoops because I burned myself into the ground. So with this, my tarot business, I pace myself. When readings sell out and I'm too tired to do more, I let them sell out. So feminine energy is about leaning back. It's about letting things come to you, about not forcing. Now, even though this says fast-paced action, this would be inspired action. So let me give you an example. What the heck is inspired action? Action that feels good. Action that makes you want to act on fast. Like this morning, I got the idea to do a video for the mediumship tarot spread. And I was really excited to do that right away. And I would have done it in my backyard, just like the Empress. But it's all soggy and wet out there because it rained last night. So here we are in my pretty cool office, which I am surrounded by nature. That's my money plant. It looks like marijuana, but it's a money plant. It's really cool because when I'm going off the topic here, but when we moved into this house over a year again, that little money plant was this big, and now it's huge. But yeah, the Empress, what would this make you think of when you look at it? She's relaxed, she's in nature. So being feminine is all about flowing with the cycles of nature. You're not meant to be productive all the time, whether you're a man or a woman. Now, have you noticed that even feminine and masculinity, it's not about gender, it's about polarity. So you might notice that even in same-sex relationships, there's usually one person that tends to be um, more like take on like the traditional masculine role, and there's one that takes on the traditional feminine role. So for me and Chad, and again, this isn't about being manly, this is about the energy. So masculine energy is logical, it's bound by time, it is structured, it likes to be on a schedule. Um, so, and masculine gives the only reason that femininity can feel safe to exist is because of the masculine takes care of those things. Like Chad has Chad is a steady, like he has been a computer programmer for as long as I've known him. He's had the same job for more than 10 years where I'm very, very creative. I don't like have now Chad likes things planned out. It makes him feel safe. Having me feel safe is having a loose plan, but back when I was a hoop dancer and I had like all these gigs booked months in advance, it actually made me feel trapped because I'm naturally someone who needs more space in my schedule. I'm somebody who needs to do things when I actually feel like doing them. Like Chad is seeing a concert today with his brother, so I have the house to myself, except Rebel, and I'm taking advantage of like the quiet. Chad's not a loud person, but we're both musicians, so there's usually always always one of us is either playing music like separately or together. So I'm taking advantage of my creative inspiration today and filming this video because that's what I really feel like doing. Now last night I really felt like chilling on the couch and reading till 1:30 in the morning, so that is exactly what I did. So to repeat, the feminine is the structure, the masculine is the structure. It's more planned out, it's more action oriented. And the feminine is all about flow, creativity, receptivity. There's that polarity. And me and Chad have always noticed, like, in all of our couple friends, there is always one person who is the go with the flow, feminine wild child, and they're not necessarily the woman. So in me and Chad's relationship, I am the very feminine one because I need to have a lot of space to do what I want to do. I don't have a ton of energy to be on the go all the time. I am not an extrovert. Now, I can talk to anybody. I'm not shy, but I need a lot of time to decompress after that. Whereas Chad has energy out the wazoo. He's on the go a lot. He does take naps, but now in our friends, our friend Brendan is the one who's more like me. He doesn't like having things planned out in advance. He's the wild card. Ashley is the one with the stable, steady job that she's had forever. She's the one who likes things planned out and likes things just so. With my other friends, Nicole and Devin, Devin is also the one who is the feminine one. Like, he wants time, he doesn't want to be bound by a steady, stable job that he has forever. He wants more to do his own thing. And even though my friend Nicole, his wife, has a business, she is very disciplined and very structured with it and very organized with it. Whereas, like, for me, I'm consistently inconsistent. Like, if I don't feel like sending a newsletter this week, it's not going to get sent, and I am not worried about it. Last year, when we took a vacation to Texas for like a month and a half during winter, I did not be on social media at all. I barely sent a newsletter. And did my business fall apart? No, it did not, because it felt good to me to do that. So I don't do things just for the sake of taking action. But I hope I explained that well for you, like the difference between feminine and masculine energy and how it pertains to doing these readings is like this, I just want to explain what feminine energy is because this is the feminine energy card. So letting things come, slowing down, taking care of yourself, being out in nature more. Let me find a masculine energy card to here's one. Here's a masculine energy card. He's on a horse. He's rushing. He's taking action. You don't even need to know what the card is to know, like, this guy is in full action mode. That's like the opposite of me. I will say, like, I know a lot of women that got brainwashed into being in that role, and they, health wise, are not doing well. So it's not natural for a woman to be in that mode all the time. It is natural for a man because they have testosterone constantly, which gives them that energy. Women, we don't. A man could like fight and stay up for 3 days and be fine, whereas like, oh my god, if I did that, I would be dead. It's like every time I tried to get a full-time job and was like, I'm not gonna have a business anymore, I would end up like on my deathbed, like so sick. It happened a couple of times, and finally Chad was just like, you need to stop, like, and I was like, you're right. So anyway, like, that's the difference between feminine and masculine. One is not better than the other. We all have it in varying degrees. It's kind of like a spectrum of it. Like somebody would see me and think that I'm lazy and disorganized, but really I'm just really feminine, and I just do things. I run my business through my intuition. I do things as I feel called to do, and that's what this card is a reminder of. So remember, this video was about how to use tarot cards to manifest. Instead of asking like, oh, tell me the future, I'm saying, hey, tell me what energy I need to be in to reach a wider audience with my course. So I need to be receptive, and being receptive, people will often say like, hey, what does that mean? Like, well, when somebody tries to give you something, how do you act when you receive like a compliment? Or when you're, here's an example. When I go to Publix, they are so nice. They're like, when I'm checking out, they're like, can I walk you to your car? I don't let them do it anymore, not because I don't want to receive, but usually I don't want to talk to the person. But when I was injured from a car accident, I didn't look injured. And like, I don't look elderly, but when they offered me help, I was like, yes, thank you. I don't want to push this cart. Like, so I would like, how do you act when people offer you help? How are you when people give you a compliment? If you're like, oh, this old thing, like, you're basically saying to the universe, don't give me anything. But if you're like saying, because guess what? Everybody around you are mirroring, they're mirroring like how you treat yourself. Like, if you don't accept things from people, now I'm not saying if somebody gives you an ugly shirt, you have to wear it, but just be grateful. Like, hey, I received something today. Like, so that's like the energy of receptivity. That's what it means. I'm going to pull a card from my medicine card deck. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but as an empress, that's how I roll. So how can I reach a wider audience with this course? The Otter. Look how cute. I love this card because it looks like Rebel, my dog. And my dog, people will always remark, oh my god, he is the most playful, silly, funny dog. So this card is like saying, hey, and it's in water too. Don't take things so seriously. Make it fun. Make it playful. How can I make this more playful? This is another card about receptive feminine energy. And the Otter is all about sisterhood. Now, coming from someone who used to be a dancer, in that, when I was in ballet, when I was like more than 20 years ago, and even belly dance like more than 20 years ago, which I am taking belly dance again, yay. But back then, I was at a studio that was very catty. The girls were insecure. They were very competitive towards me, and I did not thrive, and I did not like it. That's the opposite of feminine energy. Feminine energy is all about going out with your female friends. Like, my friend Ashley just got a huge promotion, And I am so happy for her. I want her to thrive. Now, I know people that are no longer in my life that they were super jealous of me because they thought that my success was taken away from them. That's the opposite of feminine energy. There's no cattiness, there's no competitive energy. There's I want you to win because you're connected to me. I hope that makes sense. But this is all about being playful and fun and yeah, just look how cute that is. Otter also, you, she's in the water, but did you know like otters can also go on land? So it's about being flexible, like being not just set in your ways. I'll pull another card just to give you an example of reading visually. When you see this, what would this make you think of? Just describe the armadillo. An armadillo is a small animal that has a tough skin and like spikes. So that makes you think of armor or protection. Not not being out and open and vulnerable. So like this is kind of like the opposite of feminine energy. This is actually the boundaries card. I stuck this out and pulled it aside because I wanted to show you the contrast. Now I'm not saying that the otter doesn't have boundaries, but she she assumes positive intent from everybody. Like if Chad gave me a comment that was kind of ambiguous, I would just assume that it meant something good if I was in this energy. Whereas the armadillo is like, don't mess with me energy. So that's another example of how you can use the cards to get what you want. They'll tell you what energy you need to get. And I just wanted to show you more examples of reading visually. And before I leave you guys, I want to thank you so much for taking this course. I intend to get all 5-star reviews. I pour my heart and soul into all my creations. If you plan on leaving anything less than 5 stars, please contact me first via Etsy to let me know how I can make it right. Thank you.